Good evening, all four of you tonight, and welcome to Grumpy Old Spurs. It's that time of the week again where me and Dave are going to come on and wax lyrical about Tottenham Hotspur, the thing we love most in the world. But we'll make early apologies. Me and Dave are on top form back in the green room, and we may have used all our good material up. But Dave, how are you?
Very well indeed. Very well indeed. Just to give, as you may know, this weekend Australia went to the polls. Alci Albanese, he's now back as Prime Minister with an increased majority. I was down the local polling station, and Albo, as they call him in these parts, he came up to me and he said, "Davo, just love grumpy old Spurs. Used to love the cheese room, but love grumpy old Spurs. Just want to know, has Gibbo finished that 90s Spurs book yet?"
Funny you should ask. I am Dave. I'm going to get it done in the off season, mate. We can't keep going on like this. I'm going to get it done in the off season, mate. All right.
Yeah, but Gibbo, Albo ran on a ticket that you would get the Spurs in the 90s book done by the end of the season. You yourself promised that you'd have it read by the end of the season. We've got 4 games to go now.
There's so much pressure. Mind you, saying that, I thought, how long do you reckon it'll take to reach? If we've got 4 games left,
yes.
What's that? How many minutes do you reckon that is? Or how many hours, including
360 minutes plus extra time? You're looking at 400.
I could get it. I could get it. Do you reckon I could get it read in that time?
I'm surprised you didn't watch it during the read it during the West Ham game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I should have, shouldn't I? What a waste of time that was.
What have we got?
I could have been reading the book.
I know. What have we got on tonight, Gibbo? What are we going to be talking about?
Well, seeing as we did a instant reaction to Bodo at home, I think we'll just reflect. Just gently reflect on that.
Reflect, okay.
And then we'll spend a massive chunk of the show going over the highlights from the West Ham game.
Loads of highlights.
Yeah. And then we'll finish off with just a little period talking about another biggest game of the season, the semi-final second leg.
Is this the new biggest game of the season?
Yes, this is the new biggest game of the season.
Okay.
Bodo away. But Dave, how are you since we last spoke?
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling after that semi-final? Are you feeling a little bit nervous, or are you thinking, "Nah, I've watched them. Bodo was shit. We'll beat them away"?
Well, I don't know if you heard. Did you hear the expert analysis on the Spurs show this week? What was your reaction to it?
I did earlier on. I put the Spurs show on, but I fell asleep as I was listening to it. Yeah, who was on it?
Who was on the Spurs show this week that made you fall asleep? I don't know.
Mike Lee was on there, and he started. Then I wasn't listening properly. There was some guy who was a scout for Harrogate, I think.
Yeah.
And then I sort of just going about doing my business, and another bloke came on and started talking, and that was it for me. Out like a light, mate.
You were mowing the lawn at the time, and you got mangled in the lawnmower when my familiar voice came on. You thought it escaped my voice, but no.
No, I knew that you'd been moonlighting this week, Dave.
Like Bruce Willis, Civil Shepherd.
Yeah. You've been moonlighting. But anyway, look, we've got 10. We're at a peak. We've got 10 viewers at the minute. So let's not lose any. Let's get back on that semi-final. Let's talk about that semi you had last week. So how are you feeling then, Dave? Confident? Not confident after that?
Well, I think I said that, first of all, we've had the instant reaction. But then thinking about this, I thought, we'll win on penalties. And then I thought to myself, it's that goal, isn't it? And the thing that, just reflecting on it, I would have loved. I was greedy for a 4th goal, as you very wittily said last week, and I did give you credit for it on the Spurs show. You said that after Ange took Brendan Johnson off after his goal. I thought that was very funny of you to say that.
And keeping him fit, isn't he?
For West Ham,
yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I just think that. I think at the end of the day, that goal worries me The Arctic Circle worries me. Madison and Bergvall worries me, and our goalkeeper worries me. But I thought the atmosphere was great. Obviously, our tifo was miles better than the Gooners tifo, which is the most important thing to me. To be honest with you, I'm all about the tifo.
That is more important.
We've got 4 people since I've started talking. Sorry, Gilbo.
No, mate.
I was just thinking at the end of the day, I thought it was a controlled performance. I thought that although that I'm still surprised about the fact that Porro or Spence not got a start for a month. I think Porro's through balls has looked quite good actually, and again a good ploy that I've seen in the last month. So that's been good. So reflecting, because we're going to look forward in it. Reflecting, I think it was a job almost done, nagging doubt. What about you?
Well,
what is your
first of all, I'm going to say this: Porro is one of the best footballers in our team. Has he been playing well? No, not really. But a lot of other players haven't been playing well. So Porro's capable of that. He's been capable of that since we've got him. He's one of our better footballers, as I said. And I mean, good win. I felt we should have won it more comfortably. I didn't think they were very good. I know they had people out. Just that goal, I feel like I'm not too worried about that goal, actually. I think we'll go out there and beat them or get the job done. However, I think we'll come away from Bodo and we'll get to the final. But I just feel that we've missed a bit of an opportunity. We had a great opportunity to finish the tie there and then.
Yes.
Whether it be obviously they conceded from really their first attempt on goal. I know they had one first half, didn't they? But they put it over. So first shot on target, maybe. But then, I felt we could have got more goals. I felt towards the end, we sort of took our foot off the pedal. Yeah. And it was a good result. It was a good result against an average team, and we could have finished the job. So I'm just a little bit annoyed about that. But we're 3-1 up, and I think that should be enough for us to go and win.
But we can't talk about that until we get to the.
No, I'm just saying. We'll talk about that. Yeah, but so I mean, Dave, like you said, job done, professional job, and I think what is more pressing is that fantastic game at whatever fucking stadium it's called now. What is it? The London Stadium?
It's the Pole Vault Stadium.
What a terrible place to watch football.
Well, I hate to point it out to you that our fearless leader wanted us to go there.
Oh, yeah. Well,
can you imagine?
Thank God that never happened. But I mean, awful place to watch football. But Dave, when that team came out, what were your first thoughts about that?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I only watched the 25 minutes highlight section, and even that was a bloody struggle, right? Yeah. So I thought he should have rested more players. I think that Mikey Moore, he needs to have a start, unless this is Orange's grand master plan to give him 20 minutes for the West Ham game, and then he's going to put him in Maddison's position on Thursday night. Maybe Orange, the Machiavellian master plan. Yeah. It's the Aussie way, mate. It's the Aussie way. So
you won't be doing that.
Being the renowned football expert that I am, I did say that we should have signed Kilman from Wolves over last summer.
Actually, when he was playing, I thought, oh God, Dave liked the cut of this bloke's jib. I thought he was awful.
Well, he did. I thought his assist for the first goal was fantastic. I mean, it's the better assist than Werner's managed to do all season, right?
Twice he failed to clear that ball twice. And then all he did was kick lumps out of Richarlison, didn't he?
What about... Well, see, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it is a massive coincidence. We are drinking from the same mug tonight.
Yeah.
Not the same mug, because that would be teleporting.
Pass it across, Dave. Pass it across.
Thank you. There you go.
Oh, thank you, man.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We've got improv comedy tonight. We've got you're getting Whose Line Is It Anyway to come back. Look, I like Tell, and I'm not Odegaard. I'm a bit about, but I like Tell. He shows green shoots of recovery, just like Ange's coaching track record over this season. But I think that I like Tel.
He puts effort in, doesn't he?
He puts effort in.
The one thing is effort.
Yeah, I mean, and I think there was the talk in January that he was trying to go to United in the summer, but now he's seen how shit United are. He might come to us, and of course, Daniel is trying to reduce the fee, obviously,
which I think is right as well. To be fair, mate, don't get me wrong. I think there could be a player in there, but 50 million, not for me.
Well, if he but at the end of the day, whatever amount of money they still owe us for Kane, that's going to be part of the factor. And then who you can have left up top next season? So you've got you'd have Tel, Mikey Moore. I don't want Son. I don't want Son hanging around. I want him gone. Obviously, I don't know if Brian Hill. It's now the loan is
he's back, isn't he? He'll be back, won't he?
I thought it was an option to buy. He's like a library book.
There might be an option, but they're not going to take, are they? But yeah, I mean, I looked at that team that we picked, and I looked at it, and the way obviously West Ham are a poor team. They were poor, weren't they? And I thought that team's still good enough to go out there and win. But it's just so flat, isn't it? I mean, both the goals in that game were absolute stinking, weren't they?
I hate to say it, Gibbo. Every week you say that on paper this team is good enough to win.
I do look at it and I thought it's good enough. Every week that team is good enough to perform better than I'm watching. I stand by that. Stand by that every week. The one thing I will say, Dave, Ben Davies, is it time? I mean, fucking hell.
For another contract, you mean?
No. But that's what probably will happen. But
I think
do we need that anymore, Dave? Is that what we do? We need that.
I'm not sure if you realise, Gibbo, but the game was and the atmosphere was played at such a testimonial atmosphere. It was actually Ben Davies's testimonial game on the weekend. All proceeds are going to Welsh Valley charities. So Ben Davies, we said in the summer that we needed to sign a left-footed centre back, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I thought Kilman was left-footed.
He is.
I was up for Kilman. So I say replace Davies with Kilman. So two of the worst performing players in the game. So I said that we should get a left-footed centre-back. We didn't. Or a left-footed centre-back who could play left-back because we had to have cover for Destiny. And so we do need that. But obviously with the money that we're going to get from when my captain QT reluctantly turns down a great contract offer and disappears surprisingly off to Atletico Madrid.
They won't even bother putting a contract together for him now, mate.
You know the press conference where he's going to do the shirt reveal.
Yeah.
His press. It's actually at the Tottenham training ground as well. It's in the middle of the Tottenham training ground. He's going to do the press conference and shake the hand of the chair of Atletico Madrid and Simeone. But it'll all be done in Spanish, so no one will realise what they're talking about. Did you know that was going to happen?
No, I do know though, mate. Thanks for that. But King Hoddle's trolling. He's trolling. Not okay for Ange to lose with a massive injury crisis. We've had some more injuries this week. King
Hoddle's coming in like Patrick Patterson at Sabina Park in the West Indies in the mid-'80s. I mean, there's no good evening. There's no how are you.
No,
it's just gone straight.
No lube in Europe. Mate, because so it's okay for Thomas Frank to lose. Thomas Frank wouldn't lose 19 games for Tottenham. Neither would none of them. No other manager would lose 19 games. And then we'll start saying, and now we're not playing our full team because we don't want to risk injuries or fatigue. Yet Bergvall gets injured in fucking training. So you can't, do you know what I mean? This is just the way it is.
Thank you, Bruce Hornsby. So King Hoddle, if you don't want Thomas Frank, who do you want? Or do you want more Ange? More
Ange. That's what we need to do. If we win this cup, I think that we should take the risk of him leading us into the Champions League and another league campaign and hope we don't get any more injuries like we have like we did last season, like we did this season. Let's hope we don't get them in his third season. And that'll be a fun watch.
What do you think about the rumour about Paratici?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it does need ripping up, mate. I think the Mun, Lang, Ange combo
Mm-hmm.
has failed to deliver, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's 2 out of 3 of them are Australians. Is this some anti-Australian agenda
No,
you've got
it's not
going
an
on here?
anti-Australian thing. In an ideal world, you might look at it and hopefully, I mean, Lang's been demoted before. He was demoted at Villa, wasn't he?
Right,
Lang.
yeah.
They went and
Yeah.
got Monchi or whatever his name is. So he'll have some.
And
And he stayed.
Villa have
And he
very
stayed.
struggled. They've struggled since he got demoted.
Yeah.
They've really
So,
struggled.
but he's got a couple of decent young signings over the line. So maybe get Paratici in to do like the sort of like win now type players, and let Lang concentrate on finding younger talent from over Europe and bring them in. That might be an idea.
I mean, I know this is verboten to say this, but I'm very 50-50 about Paratici. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we're wearing these in tribute to his fame.
Yeah.
How he uses the phone.
That's what they are. Our Paratici.
This is Paratici Grumpy Old Spurs branded, and we'll be selling them next year on our website, and also we'll be selling them live at our show in the Porter Cabin at the Stadium Car Park in Bilbao. Paratici, if you go through his acquisitions, there's some of them that aren't all that.
No, absolutely,
really.
But nobody has 100% strike rate, do they, Dave?
Yeah, but people compare him to Steve Hitchin, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
Hitchin, he was getting called in the end, wasn't he?
That couch was a better director of football than Steve Hitchin, right? So you know, I just think that with Paratici, what we're going to get more cheap Serie A options, cast-offs. I mean, look, let's look at Papa Martasar for a moment.
Yeah.
Now, I know what the answer is going to be. Do you think there's a player there, or do you think or there's not a player there?
Now, I think Pat Matsar for us should be a good squad rotation player. I don't think he's I was talking. I sort of mentioned this on the group earlier. In our sort of the ex-cheese room group, and I said, like, we were talking about centre backs because of Romero going and stuff, and I said, Danzo, even Dragusin, under a different coach next season, will be very good squad rotation options. Not playing week in, week out, but being used at the right time, playing against certain games, being brought on draw in certain games. Good squad rotation. Pat Matsar's like that as well. But what we need to do is buy those players, like when we bought Kulusevski and Bentancur. That's the type of players we need to be bringing in. I just feel, Dave, and I don't really know how to explain it properly, but like with the guy from Arsenal coming in, we'll call him Vinny, because I don't know his full name, but Vinny. I just get the impression like him and say like Paratici. Yeah, I just get the feel that it feels like they operate at a higher level than the people we've got doing those jobs now. I feel like since they've come in, I know everything about Spurs is like top 6 team pushing for top 4, the training ground and the ground and everything surrounding it. But you get where I'm coming from, don't you, Dave? Yeah. I just feel that the last couple of years with the appointments we've made, that it's all become a little bit like tin pot, not tin pot, more than that, but very sort of mid-table-ish, the setup and everything. And I just feel like the guy that's coming from Arsenal and Paratici, I just get like a feeling that, they'll want to operate and compete at and sort of work at a higher level.
Right. So King Hoddle has come back and he said that he'll take Iriola.
Yeah.
Good. My thing about Iriola, the couple of things that concerns me about him.
Yeah.
He's a bit of he's the latest fashionable new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he lost a 2-goal lead to us, and we're shit.
Well, he's very similar, isn't he? That they
similar
like
to
people say, so like sort of I think he's getting more out of his squad than Ange got out of his. I know people will say they're not playing as many games in Andrew's defence. He's not playing as many games.
I say that.
Yeah, but
I'm one of those people.
He's getting more out of those players, isn't he? He's improving those players. I don't think a lot of our players have been improved. But yeah, I mean, he's put De Zerbi vibes now. But I mean, yeah, I'd like the appointment, but I think Spurs need somebody to come in now, and it needs to be sensible. We need to attack when we can attack. We need to defend, be able to defend when we can defend, and we just need to be able to adapt and play differently sometimes, and work on. When I've watched things about certain managers on YouTube and stuff like that, and see how they manage and how they work and that. I just think we need something more like, say, what Pochettino did. He worked with players and improved them. We have to coach up players. We have to make those players better. And I think Iriola's another one. I think to be truly successful, I always said with Ange-Born, and I feel the same with Iriola, to make that truly successful and really push on to where I think we need to be, which is a top 16.
Yeah.
At the minute, that's where we need to get back to. I just do not think they will get the tools to do that.
Okay. Now, you have talked about adapting in games, plan Bs and things like that, right? I would put it to you that every as is in nature in life, the next coach that we look for is always in reaction to the current one we've got, i.e., Ramos, no tomato ketchup in the canteen, Redknapp, tomato ketchup in the canteen.
Yeah.
All right, now we're all going, and I mean me included. We're all going. We need a manager who's got a plan B and is gonna coach and improve players. Yeah,
we want them to be sensible. It needs to be a sensible appointment, Dave.
Did Poch really have a plan B? I don't think so.
He played three at the back at times, didn't he? I'm not going to big up. I'm not going to big up Pochettino because I love Pochettino. But when he left, it was time. It was a loveless marriage. He sort of fancied, he was sort of coming to the end, and
he wasn't happy with the documentary.
Yeah. He wasn't
happy.
Yeah.
No, he was not.
But what I'm saying is, Dave, like, he did adjust his systems and stuff like that. But obviously, mate, he did coach up them players. He made us better than the sum of our parts, and getting to where we did in league titles, races, and obviously the Champions League final is proof of that. We didn't cross the line, admittedly, but
the Champions League final papered over a lot of cracks.
It did in the end.
Okay, no, it did. I mean, it did for that season. Okay,
yeah, of course it did. It was getting towards the end at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the thing, I think, when Ange finally decides to leave in the summer by mutual agreement, with the press statement coming out just after Spitting Image is finished on Sunday night, we're obviously going to be doing an Ange tribute show. Yeah. It might be a 6-hour watch-a-thon. Okay.
I won't be on that, will I?
Well, you will be on it because I don't know if you're aware of it. We do this show together. I don't know.
So you'll let me and Leon. That'll be fun.
Yeah, with the Ange Undertakers. So what we'll do is we'll do a 6-hour tribute to Ange. One of the things I have been surprised about is his conservatism with playing the younger players. Right?
Who, Ange?
Yeah, he's been quite conservative about it. I mean, Graham Bergvall, let's not forget, did not start until the injury crisis really hit us in October, November. All right. Mikey Moore, I think on the one hand, I think there's some stat that says he's played more than Phil Foden at Phil Foden's age.
Yeah.
That he's at when he was. But I just think there's a little bit of conservatism about him, which I was a bit surprised about. But we're going to save that for the Ange tribute show, which we will be doing when he gets the thing. And just very, very quickly, I think have we talked about West Ham? We have talked about West Ham.
We have.
We haven't really. Just a quick tribute to Vicario on the first goal. What did you think?
Mate, I mean, I think it'd be really, really harsh to really dig him out for that, mate. But
why? He got beat at the near post. What are you on about?
He got beat at the near post through his legs and that. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't great goalkeeping. But mate, he was given the captaincy. It's like being in the leadership group at Tottenham Hotspur is a curse, isn't it? Because, like, mate, his forms fell off a cliff. But I think he scares the shit out of me. Can you imagine him being behind you? What confidence would he give you? Terrible. He's been awful lately, hasn't he?
Since the Chelsea game.
Him and you're like, what are you doing? He's kicking. When he kicked that one.
If you'd have stayed awake during the Spurs show this week, right? If you'd have stayed awake during the Spurs show, I said that at the end of the day, when he came back, he looked good.
Yeah.
And then when it was Chelsea away, he brought the Shaking Stevens jittery dance along. And ever since then, he has been Mr. Jittery, right?
Yeah, he's got that in him, hasn't he? He runs out of his goal. He'll make a save, a pretty easy one, and he'll run out of his goal, waving his hands about with the ball under one arm, and that. And you're like, what are you doing? Where's your head at? I mean, Ben Davies didn't. I mean, it is tough, but he has looked extremely dodgy, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the reason why, Phil, the four defenders ignored Bowen is because Bowen is, as we know, is the son-in-law of TV hard man Danny Dyer.
They didn't want to get beat
and they just said, whoa there. Here comes TV hard man Danny Dyer. We are, the star of Football Factory. On you go, Bowen.
I think, like, to summarise that game, and lots of people said it, and not just because we're trying to be like, obviously, how we are, but you will struggle to find a worse game than that all season, weren't you? How bad? It was just awful. Two really, really poor teams.
Some people wanted Graham Potter to be our first team coach.
Well, mate, I've always liked him. I've always liked Potter, but I'm not saying I want him now. Leading up to when he was at Brighton, I thought he was decent. I thought Chelsea, that was stinking. But I always quite liked him. But after watching West Ham, I think they'll get rid in the summer. I think they'll just a clean sweep.
So let's get this right. You're charitable towards Vicario. You're charitable.
Well, I'm not charitable.
But you're not charitable towards Orange or Scott Munn, and you fell asleep when I was talking on the Spurs show. It's anti-Australian, this. Come on.
Here we go. Don't start that, Dave. It's not. I'm not anti-Munn. I just don't think he's doing a very good job.
Australian.
But then again, we don't really know because of what he's doing. Graham Potter, I used to think he was a good coach. I think maybe he'll just float about now in mediocrity. And I think he's absolutely woeful.
Okay, are we going to move on? All right, we're going to move on now. 1 minute. One last question.
Yeah.
Did you like the band In Excess?
Yes, I loved them.
Okay, well they're Australian. You do know they're Australian.
Yeah, I can remember having their cassette kick.
Look at you. Did you put it on your big ghetto blaster and walk down Worcester High Street?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, with your fat Reeboks on. Yeah.
Yeah, Reebok pumps. Remember them when you used to pump the?
Yeah.
Yeah, good old King Oddle. He's on board now as well. Look, I did love the Flying Doctors and Sons and Daughters. Remember that?
Yeah, but he loved the Flying Pickets as well. Right, let's move on. Let's move on. But what are we going to talk about next?
Let's talk about the biggest game of the season, Dave.
Hang on a minute. Is it time for the biggest game of the season, Gibbo?
It's time for the new version of the biggest game of the season on Thursday.
Is this the biggest game of the season before a really big summer that we've got coming up for the club?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. We're going to have if we win it, Dave, we'll have a big summer, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
I think we're going to. I think we'll come through that. I mean, I can't see us losing. I think we'll get to the final. I've said that all along, haven't I?
You're very bullish.
I am very. I can't see us losing to Bodo Glimt for all the few good results they've had over the last year or whatever.
They've got to the semi-finals.
Yeah, they've got to the semi-finals. Don't get mad. us and Man United are in the semi-finals, mate, and look how bad we've been this season. So what does that really say about the rest of the teams in it? And I don't want to take anything away from us because you can only beat what's in front of you and you're there. But we should be beating them. 2-goal lead should be enough. I don't give a fuck if it's on a plastic pitch. There's plastic pitches at Hotspur Way, mate. So
are there?
Well, they must have 4G pitches there that they can train on or play on at times. There's no excuse, mate. We should be beating them. We got 2 goals on them. We're good enough to go out there and get a result. I'm bullish.
I'd just like to apologise to our loyal viewers who can see a naked Gibbo knee on screen. We apologise for that, and if no knees were hurt involved in making this show. So look, it's the second tier club competition in Europe.
Yeah.
No one's dropped down from the Champions League.
Yeah.
Although I still would say that every time we've been knocked out of this, it's not been by a club that's been dropped down from the Champions League. I'm pretty sure.
Fair enough.
We're going there without 2 of our 3 starting midfield.
We are now, yeah.
You know, who Bergvall has been good in Premier League and Europa, and Maddison has looked good in Europa because, frankly, it's probably his level these days.
Yeah.
I think that we, obviously the back 4 is the back 4.
Yeah, Ange's got his centre backs back.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Atletico Madrid have arranged a loan deal for this game, so he'll be back for that.
Yeah.
And then in the midfield, so let's get into who we're going to play here. In the midfield, obviously Bentancur, who's also heading to Madrid. Bissouma, who I was very surprised when he started last week.
Yeah.
And then you could go Kulu.
Yeah.
Or you could go Mikey Moore.
I doubt
it. But you go Kulu, and then up top, I would play Odeber, Tell, Solanke.
Yeah.
I think he will do what he did in the first leg, which is Richarlison, Solanke, and your mate Brennan.
No, I disagree. I think he'll play Richarlison. I think he'll play Solanke.
I said he would.
Yeah, I think.
But I think who I prefer, but I think he'll start with who he started in the first leg.
I don't think he'll start Boris. I think he will. No, I think you could see somebody else who puts in a bit more of a shift to start off with. Whether that be Tal or Odeber. Probably Tal if you want someone who's going to put in a shift. But I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Johnson. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty much the same. But I think I think he'll play Kulu in that number 10 role, even though Kulu hasn't been very good since he come back. He's struggling for fitness.
He's not been very good.
Yeah.
He's not been very good. I think he's come back, and I think he's realised. Do you know when you're sick from work for about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And you've been really sick, and then you go into work on day 1, and you think, so why am I working here?
Yeah.
Look at these idiots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at Romero headbutting the photocopier.
Yeah.
I think that he's probably
look at Timo killing pigeons in the trees behind in shooting practice.
Look at Dragusin knocking down that 500-year-old oak tree next to the training ground. I told him not to do it. So that's what's going to happen. I reckon. I don't like Richarlison and Solanke starting together because if one of them if both of them get injured, we're screwed. And no one could come off the bench. But
it's shit or bust, isn't it, Dave? Now,
well,
shit or bust.
I'm well aware that it's shit or bust. Now, what's your prediction score?
I'm going to go for a Desmond.
Okay.
2-2.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that it's a 2-2.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I am going to go this. Can I manifest once more?
Manifest away.
Thank you. We are going to go 1-0 down in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Around the world, Spurs fans will be collectively shitting their pants.
Yeah.
And then we are then going to go 2-0 down.
Yeah, I can see that.
with about 30 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then in the final 5 minutes,
yeah,
where we've got, we've made all the sub changes and things like that, we are going to have a situation where Mikey Moore beats a player down the left-hand side. He cuts in, and arriving at the far post with a 2-yard tap in is Brennan Johnson, who will be the Welsh Lucas Moura, and he'll tap it in. He'll go off to the 450 fans in the way end. They're all waving their mackerel in the air that they fished out the Arctic Circle.
For his shirt on the corner flag.
For the shirt on the corner flag.
Get a second yellow and won't play in the final.
Do his best Michael Sheen impression.
Yeah.
And all around the world, from Worcester to Sydney to Vienna to Brazil.
Yeah.
We will
rejoice.
Off. We will rejoice. That's what's going to happen. Now, before we finish up, do you mind if we go?
I just wanted to.
That's a pleasure.
The point King Hoddle and Phil were just on about the people in the media.
Well, do you know what, Gibbo? We've done. How's it been, Gibbo, having no slides tonight?
Have you enjoyed? We've really enjoyed it.
We've gone a bit dry tonight.
Yeah, we've gone in dry.
We've gone in dry. So I have got some comments here to bring up.
Come on.
So here we go. First of all, announcing the window game date change before we make the final makes me shudder. Shudder's a great word, Phil. Yeah. Got us being bantered, written all over it if we get knocked out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if they'd have got to the cup final, would the date have been changed anyway? So I don't see what the big deal is. Like Villa fans are saying, well, they should change it.
Yeah, but what Phil is saying,
I get that we're changing it because we're saying in case we get to the final,
but we haven't got to the final.
No, we haven't. Well, we will, Phil. Trust me. Did you trust me against Frankfurt? Did you trust me the first leg against Bodo? Trust me now. We are going to Bilbao.
You sound a bit Scientology there, but anyway. Yeah. Right. Next one. Now, this is a goodie. I like this one. Thoughts on the media, says Phil, suddenly deciding that it's ridiculous that Europa winners get a CL place. Same people who probably moaned that English sides never used to take Europa seriously. Do you mind if I answer that one first?
Yeah, can I just give my quick answer?
Well, that's a no.
Before you give your long-winded one, fuck them.
Well, hang on a second. Okay, well, that was Gibbo.
Yeah.
My long-winded answer.
Let's have your long-winded
answer. Which is more than 2 words. Is that I find it quite ironic that Wenger is calling it out this week that, at the end of the day, anyone who wins Europa should get Champions League place. I'm pretty damn sure that old Wenger took Arsenal into the Europa, and I'm pretty damn sure that Wenger and Arsenal after him, what's his face, Emery took them to the Europa final. I didn't see Wenger moaning about Arsenal possibly getting in the Champions League by winning the Europa, but probably, as he always used to say, he didn't see anything. Yeah, so there you go. Load of nonsense.
But it hasn't, for as long as I can remember now.
Yes.
And it might not be, I might be wrong, but hasn't winning the Europa League meant that you play in the Champions League?
Only for the last 4 or 5 years, I think.
Okay, it's the last 4 or 5 years. So when the Champions League teams were dropping down and winning it and getting back in the Champions League, it was fine then. They weren't moaning. This is what I don't pay any attention. Because the rule is before it happened, before this happened, before like us and Man United were nearly there, at the start of the season, it was if you win the Europa League, you're in the Champions League. Nobody cared. Why? It's just something to talk about. It's just something to sort of like you can get something off it. It's absolute. It's just a load of old bollocks. They've known about it for ages. So why now? Why right this very minute is it such a travesty that the winner gets into the Champions League, where the winner's been getting into since 2012 apparently. So
that's quite a long-winded answer you just did then. Yeah, by the way.
Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
What is good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
Can we just? We're going to finish off 2 more things. Obviously on a tangent and entirely unrelated. Oh, actually, no, we should do a plug. We're going to be doing an instant reaction show straight after the second leg, and it really is shit or bust. So you are either going to see us in exultant happiness, or the recriminations and the brickbacks are going to be flying everywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching it on repeat, we are doing an instant reaction show straight after Frankfurt. Okay?
Yes.
So tune in for that. If you like us, please like us on the old like thing. Subscribe on the old subscribe thing. Thank you.
Hit the thumbs up.
If you don't like us, give us a thumbs down, and maybe one of us will respond to you in a grumpy way. Who knows? So
and thanks to the guys in the chat tonight. Brilliant day. Lots of the same old faces. We love having them on.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, from a very petty point of view, it has made me laugh hugely seeing the some Liverpool fans' reaction to Terence Trent Derby leaving for free and going to Real Madrid. Did you see what Carragher said?
No, I don't care. But tell me.
He said that people shouldn't be telling Liverpool fans how to think, because he's never told other clubs' fans how to think ever. That's
his job, isn't it? His job is telling other people what they should think or what they should see. And now, mate, wow.
You're a book fan. We know you're a book fan. Yeah. Is Jamie Carragher really George Orwell reincarnated? 1984. Think, speak. Think about it. It's those you don't suspect end up being the dictators. So it could well be dictator Carragher. And then finally, on a completely different note, and I'm testing. I know I'm testing your patience. We did talk about King Oddle's first point was like Patrick Patterson. So who was quicker? Tomo, Brett Lee, Actor, Holding, or Taylor? Are you much of a cricket fan, Gibbo?
No.
Well, Gibbo, I think on that note,
I like football, and I enjoy watching a few of the sports, but cricket. I like to watch the Ashes. I like England to win when they play cricket. I keep a bit of an eye on Worcestershire, but I don't watch enough, and I don't know enough about those players. So sorry about that, Dave.
And good evening to Elena.
Hi, Elena.
You have missed the show, but if you go back to the beginning, you will top quality entertainment that you can enjoy.
As always, ask the other 18 people watching live.
You can ask each of them individually. In fact, run a poll. So you're a disgrace, Gibbo. And
I've been called that before.
And there we go. So I think we're going to end that now. I need to go and deliver some timber to somewhere. That's not a joke.
Got to go and get some wood on the go, haven't you?
I've got to get some morning wood on the go.
Get to the start, Lena. You'll find out where I've progressed to in the 90s book.
Yeah, don't anyone else, the other 16 people, tell Elena in the chat, all right? Because that's like ruining the surprise, okay?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Like telling somebody what happens at the end of the Titanic film. And on that note, Dave, come on, you Spurs. Good night.
Come on, you Spurs. Good night.